Yeah, he's 18. Okay, and everybody online, Kim, do you fall into that category? 10 or few homes? No, you more than 10? Significantly more than 10. Yes. Okay. All right. So this class is really taught from a beginner standpoint. We're going to cover at least three classes, probably four classes, and each class is going to be on a different topic. Some of this to the more experienced agents is going to feel pretty basic, but for the new agents right out of real estate school or those who have only sold one or two homes, this is going to be some great information to kickstart their career. Okay. So everything that I'm going to talk about today, we can really I'm going to give you the basics and then you could put your own spin, and I know you will, your own spin and twist on it, right? And take it to another level. Okay, but we got to start with the basics. So in this first class, let's get it started. So 101 reasons why a buyer needs to work with an agent. So today we're going to talk about what you give to clients. Going to talk about buyer presentations. We're going to talk about what you say when the phone rings. The phone rings and somebody says, Trey or Deborah or Steve, whatever. Q, I want to buy a house. What do you say to them? What do you say when the phone rings? Okay, we're going to talk about that as well. But first off, why is it that buyers even need to work with you? Well, if you go to, does everybody know what this is? Your zone. Now, yours might look a little bit different now. We're going to go to one login, and in one login, there's One Design Creative Studios. One Design Creative Studios. We click on One Design Creative Studios. And to the left, we have presentations. Now, down here, the listing presentation, that's for the class called I Have a Seller. Now, what do I do? That's not this class. I have a buyer. Now, what do I do? But up here, you have 111 reasons. Okay, you click on, we're going to have twice as many people in the next 10 minutes. Come on in.
Sorry about that.
You're fine. Okay, so you click on these three dots and then you download it. I've already downloaded it. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So that is step one of several things we're going to try to talk about here in the next 45 minutes or so. 111 reasons why you need a buyer's agent. Okay, and you can fully customize this. It's in Realty One Group colors. Put your name on it. But it's a really nice item that you can give to your clients, pre-listing activities. What do you do? What do you do for your money? Well, here's a list of 101 reasons or 101 things that you do. So pre-listing activities, and again, it's fully customizable and it's in Realty One Group colors. Okay, so this is, let's get past this section. Oh, that's it. So 111 reasons why a buyer's agent, why an agent needs to be working with the buyers with an agent. Okay, not just buying on their own. Okay, did anybody know that that form exists? That this exists? No? Okay. So that is number one, 111 reasons you need a buyer's agent. This is just going to constantly get in my way today. Okay, so the next thing I want to go into is the Rock Title Home Buyer Guide. The Rock Title Home Buyer Guide. So that was sent to you in an email in our vendors or partners email, and it looks like not like that. This one, it looks like this. There we go. Contact Rebecca with Rock Title. Does everybody know who Rebecca is? No? Yes? Okay. Contact Rebecca with Rock Title. She has one for sellers. She has one with buyers. Let's click on the buyer just to see what it looks like. So it's got Rock Title up top, but it's in Realty One Group colors. Before, this was in Rock Title colors. And I talked to Rock Title and said, hey, can we just simply change the colors? Keep your name on there, but change the colors to Realty One Group. And they agreed. So you got access to this as well. This is obviously customized with my face on there and my name. But you can customize this as well and leave this for buyers. Um, leave this for buyers also. So key professionals, who's involved in your transaction, from loan officers to insurance agents, advantages of using a realtor. A lot of agents will maybe drop this off with the or leave this with the buyer. I say drop off, I'm thinking listing presentations. Difference between renting and selling.
Well,
Yep,
and they'll customize it
the
for
loan
you too.
process.
Like
Oh, you got a copy of it too?
if like your cards are white or
Good.
something, they'll put it in like white and it'll
That's
like go to what you want.
Mhm. Yep. So what I'm seeing agents do now, really to save on the print costs, is they're getting the digital copy that I have here, and they're actually sending this to their buyer
Mhm.
for to their buyer to review. Yep. And it saves a lot of money on print costs. Okay, so familiarize yourself with that as well. That is from Rebecca with Rock Title. And my daughter is calling me. How nice. Get a message says I'm in a class and I will call you back. My daughter just turned 19 years old.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice.
when was her birthday?
May 30th. So
Okay.
just what, last week, 2 weeks ago?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to give you the phone number, and many of you here already have it, but I'm going to give you the phone number for Rebecca with Rock Title, who will create this for you. Contacts, Rebecca, Rebecca, Misquez, 480-262-6024. Again, 4806, no, excuse me, 480-262-6024. Okay. So we talked about the 111 reasons you need a buyer's agent. We talked about Rock Title Home Buyer Guide. Now let's go into the Realty One Group buyer presentation. So where do you find that? Well, you probably already saw it a moment ago. So, but let's start all over from the beginning. So from your zone, which again, yours is probably going to look different now. One login, one design creative studios, one design creative studios, and the same place you found the 111 reasons. And there's so much stuff here, guys, you can click on and play with. Buyer presentation. There it is. Buyer presentation, 32-page classic. Buyer presentation, portrait. Once again, these three little dots here, click on it and you can download it. But again, I've already done that. So let's see what that looks like. Home buyer guide, buyer presentation. We'll just click this one. These 32 individual pages, and then I'm going to show you how to actually edit this and make it yours. So there's 32 pages here you can, once you download it, you can click on, but it's really good quality stuff. Again, for the 10th time, fully customizable to you. Click on one more page, one more random page. Okay. And now let's show you how to use that. So realtyoneGroup.ewebinar.com. Okay. So realtyonegroup.ewebinar.com. realtyonegroup.ewebinar.com. And in this case, you scroll down to Realty One Group One Design Creative Studios, and you register for the class. And you got an app class for Rock Title coming up at 11 o'clock. Well, right here, we've got a Realty One Group app class as well. And that's how you register for it. So you register for all of those again at realtyonegroup.ewebinar.com. But specifically as it relates to both the buyer presentation for you to fully customize and the 111 reasons a buyer needs to work with you, that is under the right here. One Design Print Center. Oh, wait a minute. No, up here. One Design Creative Studios. Okay. So we are moving at a quick pace here, so that's good. Any questions on any of that so far? No?
So that's something that you have to, once you want to use it to create your own, put your own,
Yeah.
on it, we have to connect with Rebecca.
Well, no, Rebecca's something different. Rebecca's for that home buyer guide.
Okay, so this is something that we can manipulate.
That's correct. So you go to the realtyonegroup.ewebinar.com for help on how to, the word you use, manipulate the buyer presentation and also the 111 reasons a buyer needs to work with you, how to customize it with your face and your name and whatnot, right? To the younger tech savvy people, that's going to be a piece of cake. For others, we have instructions on how to do that. Okay. But as far as the home buyer guide with Rebecca, you're completely hands off. She'll customize that for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she'll customize that for you and send you the digital copy of it. Okay. Okay. Good stuff so far, Q?
Mhm,
Yeah?
mhm.
Okay.
Actually, this is good because I had a referral last night
Did you? Okay.
from California.
Good. So it is good. Okay. So in the next class, and I got much more to go over, not much more. We got a few more things today. We're going at this pretty quick today. But next class, we're going to talk about my buyer presentation. But before we do that, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on buyer presentations. Okay. Now we went over what to potentially give the client for buyer presentations, and this is all free stuff. Now there's other stuff. I used to pay for stuff that cost a hell of a lot more money than free, and it wasn't necessarily any better, right? So this is good quality stuff that you should certainly use. Um, Oh, now we're going to talk about what to say to your client. We talked about what to give, the 111 ways, the buyer presentation guide, the buyer presentation that you find in One Design Creative Studios. Now, well, what do you say? What do you say to them when we sit down? What do you say? For that, again, I'm going to tell you what I say in the next meeting. But before that, we're going to ask you to watch a couple of videos on your own. You go to One Rock for Rock Title, Stars. So you have One for Realty One Group, Rock for Rock Title, Stars.com. And at onerockstars.com, you go to their video library. Then you search buyer presentation. onerockstars.com, video library, and then search buyer presentation. And here you have some wonderful ideas, right? Winning strategies for buyers agents, how to demonstrate your value and unlock your commission. Buyer consultations, 9 key pillars for a compelling buyer presentation. Elevate your buyer consultation 2024. So hasn't changed that much. Okay. So do yourself a favor and watch at least one of these four. Here's a good one, Perfecting Your Buyer Consultation with Debbie DeGroat. This is a really good one. It's only half an hour, 28 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay. Good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we've talked about what to give to the client. We talked about what to say, and you're going to watch at least one of these four videos between now and our next class next Thursday. Now let's talk about what do you say. Here's some of my scripts for the buyer class or buyer presentation that I used to do that we'll talk about next week. So what do you say when the phone rings? Q, somebody says they want to buy a house. What do you say? Do you know what to say? And if the answer is no, it's okay. You're in a room full of people at the same.
No, so
Q's like, no, I know exactly what to say, JP.
like you've chosen the right. Like I love the opportunity to work with you. No, I don't normally get calls. I get text messages.
Okay.
So for the text messages, I just tell them thank you. I appreciate them reaching out to me. I would love the opportunity to work with them and guide them through their home buying process.
Mhm.
When is it a good time for them for us to connect and I can actually talk to them and find out more in detail what their goals are as far as their home, where they
Mhm.
want to live, the price range and all of that. And
Right.
then they give me that information and then I set up an appointment with them.
That's a perfect way to do it. Perfect way to do it. Again, I'm trying to give you the basics here, and then you could put your own spin on it, what works best for you. What always worked best for me is because I don't want to memorize what the questions are. So I can memorize them, but the way life works is the more experience you guys will get, and I've taken part in the sale of well over 1,000 houses personally, is that's not how life works when you get more experience. You're in the middle of you're walking around Costco and the phone rings. Somebody said, I want to buy a house, and you're busy shopping. You're out at your grandkids' t-ball game. I mean, it's not necessarily in an office setting when the phone rings, right? So what I did was on an app on my phone, I would write down all these questions. So if I was busy, I'd ask if I can give them a call back in 20 minutes, an hour, or whatever it is, open up the app, and I'd start asking them the questions. So I never had to commit it to memory, and I always had it here with me. Now, of course, if I was available, I'd just take the call right then and there. So I'm going to give you 15 or so examples of simple things to say when they call and they want us to buy a house. Number one is, what area are you interested in? We want to know the area they're interested in. If they're interested in Flagstaff, can you sell them a home in Flagstaff?
Yeah.
Well, you can, yeah, because you're licensed in the state of Arizona, but if something goes wrong, they can make the argument that that is outside your area of expertise because that's not where your main brokerage is, right? But licensing wise, you can. So what area are you moving to? But if they wanted to go to Flagstaff and they wanted to see 2 homes tomorrow, 3 homes the next day, and then 4 homes on site, do you want to go back and forth to Flagstaff 4 times in the next 5 days? Probably not. So you're probably going to refer it to another agent up in Flagstaff. Okay, so that's question number one. Question number two, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need? Pretty simple. What's so funny, Q?
Because I'm not gonna refer to another agent. We're gonna
Oh,
go
you're
to
gonna
Los
drive.
Angeles, and we're
Okay.
gonna stay some time up in Flagstaff.
All right, there you go. Get a hotel room for a couple of days. Yeah. How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need? And this isn't rocket science, guys. I'm just giving you ideas here. Number three, what are you looking for in terms of square footage? Oh, I need a big house. Well, what's a big house to you? To some people, that's 1,500 square feet because they lived their whole life in an 800 square foot apartment. To some people, it's quite different. So, what are you looking for in terms of square footage? Next one, have you met with a lender to qualify for a loan or are you paying cash? Have you met with a lender to qualify for a loan or are you paying cash? Right? Here's a big one. This is an important question. Do you have a home you need to sell first or at least you need to complete first? That's an important question, right? We need to know if they've got a home they need to sell first. And if you attended my lead generation class, if you do open houses, far greater than 50% chance anybody walking into an open house also has a home they need to sell. All right, so you get 2 deals there. Anybody take the class on lead generation?
Yes.
Mhm.
Have before.
Don't look at me. I
The lead gen class.
Lead gen class, yeah. Okay, good.
that's one that you would do, like you've been doing on these Thursdays, or is it online? Or
No, I did a lead generation class last week. Yeah, last
Online.
week,
yeah,
and
I
I
saw
sent.
that one, but I couldn't. I wasn't.
Last week online.
I
Okay.
had another one that was recorded from the last time you did it, and I think you sent that link to me when I joined,
Okay.
so.
And does everybody here get the weekly newsletter that we send out?
Mhm.
Because the weekly newsletter that I sent out 4 days ago on Monday, 3 days ago on Monday, had a link for the lead generation class as well as the links for every one of the forms classes that we did. Because we had a form series, right?
Right.
Purchase contract, buyer broker agreement, listing agreement. So that's all on the newsletter. Okay, do you have a home you need to sell or at least you need to finish prior to buying? Next question. Are there any must-have features in your home that you have to have? Any must-have features? Well, yeah, JP, I gotta have 3 bedrooms, or excuse me, I gotta have a 3-car garage. All right, whatever the case may be. Are there any deal breakers or features that you want to avoid? Yeah, I can't be on the corner, can't be a corner lot. Hate cul-de-sacs, cannot be in a cul-de-sac. Can't be backed up. If it's a 1-story home, can't be backed up to a 2-story home looking down on my backyard all day long. I mean, they just come up with that's 3 of hundreds of examples they can give. Okay. Um, how important, and this is more of a rapport question than anything else, how important is proximity to schools, shopping, restaurants, and your place of employment? How important is that? You'll find what their motivation is. Well, it's a long drive to work, but man, oh man, I want to be in this school area. I want my kids to go to this school. Or, next question. Are you open to remodeling a home or are you looking for move-in ready homes? Okay. Are you okay with remodeling a home? Then maybe they're okay with the fixer-uppers. Because if they say, no, we're looking for a move-in ready home, and you do research for them and find 3 homes, 2 of them are just good buys, but just disasters. They're going to have to pump a lot of money into them, but they're good buys. Don't bother showing them the home, right? If they say they want something that's move-in ready. Okay, what is your time frame for finding a home to purchase? What is your time frame for finding a home to purchase? And I found that as a general statement, buyers generally buy in half the amount of time that they say they're going to buy. They're about a year away. They're probably 6 months away, right? 6 months away. They're probably 90 days away. That's just a general rule of thumb statement. I'd say what I just said there is true 80% of the time. Okay, so you want to know what their time frame is. Here's another important one. Are you interested in new construction or resale? So what if they're interested in new construction? We got to make sure that we either go with them on that first appointment or we make sure we educate them to tell the builder's sales office that they're working with an agent and give them our card and get us registered that way if for some reason we can't make it to the appointment with them, right? Because we've got 2 clients, right? And we can't be in 2 places at once, right? So we can't make it to their showing. They can only see it Saturdays at 12 noon because that's their time off of work and that's their time without doing family stuff. So we can only see it that there. The more experience you guys get, you're going to experience some really odd, goofy stuff, and you got to figure out a way to get around it and know that others have before you, so you can do it as well. Are you interested? Excuse me. Are you open in considering properties that are currently off the market or not yet on market? Currently off the market or not yet on market? Well, what do you mean? I thought I got access to everything on Zillow. Is there a group of homes that potentially are not on Realtor.com and Zillow and Homes.com? Yeah, what am I referring to?
The buy owners coming soon, expired.
And there's one more. What Trey said is spot on. Say it again, Deborah.
Have expired listings, do they still come up on, they still come up on Zillow, it'll just say off market. or something.
Yeah, they changed that a little bit. Yeah, but generally what I'm saying here, they used to not. What I'm saying here is coming soon listings, some expired, some canceled, some temporarily off the market, some for sale by owners. right? So not necessarily everything that the public sees on realtor.com is all there is. There's other homes as well. Okay. Make sure they understand that. Back in the old days, when I got started and you didn't have cell phones, you had beepers. Um, we were keepers of information, right? We didn't have MLS. Well, we had MLS, but it certainly wasn't online. It was in binders. You had to go in and look for the home in literally paper. Obviously those days are long gone, but my point is back in those days, we were keepers of information. Buyers could not find any information almost whatsoever on any homes for sale unless they contacted one of you guys, right? But now it's quite different. So the industry has evolved. And when that happened, people thought, oh my gosh, we're going to go out of business. There's no need for us because we were keepers of information. Now they've got information. But again, the industry has evolved into other things and it will continue to do so. I don't think there's an industry out there today that looks anything like it did 20 years ago, anything 20 years ago that looks anything like it did 20 years before that. So it'll continue to evolve. So I'm on my little soapbox there. So do you prefer one story or two story? That's important. And I got bad knees. I got the bad knees, and this realtor just keeps showing me these damn two-story homes. All right, so ask the question ahead of time. All right, ask the question. I impressed myself just this morning. I ran up the stairs. I have a two-story house, and I ran up the stairs, the second one, skipping a stair. And I thought, wow, I'm still young. I can still do that.
Nice.
True story. Next question. Do you want a big backyard or a small backyard? Again, what does that mean? Where I come from I spent 25 years in the state of Michigan. Our small backyards are significantly bigger than what most big backyards are here, right? So something to consider there as well. Just a couple more questions here. Are you open to living in a community with an HOA? Well, probably not. I got a boat, 4 jet skis. I got a company truck that's got ladders hanging off the side of it, and I don't know the HOA is going to like that, right? I got an RV, so ask that question. And the truth is, most everything after 2000 is probably going to have an HOA. Probably most everything after 1995 is going to have an HOA. Okay. Have you already identified any properties of interest? Just got 2 more here. Have you already identified properties of interest? So why is that one important? Well, that one is important because we know at 11 o'clock at night, they're doing research on homes.com. We know that the husband and wife got in an argument at 2:30 in the morning and one of them woke up and at 2:30 in the morning is looking on Zillow for homes for sale, and they've identified several, and we don't want them to contact a source, an agent other than us. So we want to ask them if we were asking the question. We already know the answer. The answer is yes, and if they say no, they're not being honest with you. Have you seen any other homes that look of interest to you? You want to get those addresses and schedule a showing if they want to see the home. Okay, it's all about bringing it back to you, because we already know they're
Give you a
online.
better idea what they're actually.
That's exactly right. Yep, give you a better idea what it is they're actually looking for. Steve says. Okay. What are your long-term plans for the property? To live in it forever or keep it as a rental? And I got one more for you, and this is a big question that 2 years ago we probably wouldn't have asked, but we certainly want to now. Have you signed a buyer broker agreement with a different agent? Have you signed a buyer broker agreement with a different agent? So can you represent a buyer if they say, yes, we actually did sign a buyer broker agreement with another agent, and we've got 90 days before it expires? Can you represent that buyer?
As long as they didn't find an exclusive.
Technically, you can. Technically, you can, but You need to have in writing that you told them that because they have another exclusive employment agreement with another brokerage, it is not only possible but probable that if they choose to work with you, they're still going to have to pay compensation to that other brokerage. And if they're willing to do that and it's in writing, then you can, right? But what I encourage you to do, because that gets muddy and a lot of drama and a lot of headaches and just nonsense that you don't want to experience. Um, Ideally, you wait till that relationship, that buyer broker agreement expires. I gave the example of 90 days. Oftentimes it's 2 weeks. Just wait 2 weeks and let it expire. Okay. But it's always good to ask the buyer if they have a exclusive, if they have a buyer broker agreement signed with another brokerage. Okay. How are we doing on time here? 10:35. Okay. Do we all know how to... Trey, how many homes have you sold so far?
Uh,
3?
Actually, today 4,
4? Okay, good.
but July closed 3.
Okay. Okay, guys. So that is about it for today. That is about it for today, but I can stick around and answer some questions if you have any. Okay. But next week, same time, we're going to have another class. We're going to go into what I do on the buyer presentation. We're also going to go into what forms are needed, where to find those forms, once they're completed, how to upload them into the right spots in SkySlope when you have a buyer. We're going to have another class. I think it's class number 3, where we're going to go into this. This is the shortest class of the 3 or 4, where we're going to go into opening escrow, what issues you may have during the home inspection, what issues you may have during the appraisal and how to resolve them, the walkthrough, any challenges you might have prior to closing, when the buyer's signing their loan docs. So that's what we're going to talk about, I think, in class number 3. And then class number 4, I think we're going to stretch it out to 4 classes. Class number 4, we're going to write a purchase contract. And again, for those of you who have written many purchase contracts, that's a piece of cake. But this class is designed for newer agents who may not have written one yet, or maybe just wrote a couple of them. So we're going to do that in class number 4. Okay, so that's all I got for now, but I can stick around if you have any questions.
Thank you.
I have a question. So
Go ahead.
say you just, well, I'm working with a few buyers now, but say you're working with a buyer. One thing that really held me up with this particular buyer is I'm using a coordinator, and we flooded them with all the forms you need,
Mhm.
to have a buyer on, with all the marketing form, and what is the minimum form you need to like go show some homes to someone? Can it just be the buyer broker, or does it need to be that in the agency? Like, what's the minimum you can do to get somebody out there without flooding them with like so many forms?
You need the buyer broker agreement. And by buyer broker agreement, I'm using buyer broker agreement as a blanket term. Buyer broker agreement is 2 things: the buyer broker agreement and the agreement to show property.
Right.
Okay, so when I say buyer broker agreement, I mean either one of those. You're required to use one of the 2. You're not required to use both. Pick one of the 2. And in what's the difference between the 2? Anybody know what the difference is between the 2? The buyer broker agreement and the agreement to show property.
Buyer broker means you're working with the brokerage and you have given permission that you can work with the brokerage, and the show of the property is just to show property. That's it. No other arm is in there.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Form.
Well,
That's the one-page form.
Right.
Isn't it exclusivity?
Exclusivity, that's the key word, exclusivity. So the question is, what was the difference between the buyer broker agreement and the agreement to show property? You can use either one of those. We encourage you to use the buyer broker agreement because of the exclusivity. You're getting paid if the buyer buys a home during that time period, whether you represent them or not, you're still getting paid. With the agreement to show property, you only get paid if you represent the buyer on that sale. So your name best be on the contract if you're using a agreement to show property. If you're using the buyer broker agreement, they could wander into an open house on a Saturday afternoon and call you Monday morning. Hey, great news. Guess what I did yesterday? I just bought a house. Well, you're still paying me my compensation because we have a buyer exclusive buyer broker agreement. But if you use same scenario, if you use the employment, or excuse me, the agreement to show property, you would not be paid. Agreement to show property only guarantees your compensation if your name is on the contract.
And
But your
actually,
question was, well, what are the minimum amount of forms we need? So number one, you need
right,
the buyer broker agreement in one of the two forms. Number two, you need the agency disclosure.
right.
And number three, you need the buyer advisory.
Oh, right, the buyer budget. So those
And,
three.
and the ABA, I should really say four, the ABA, affiliated business arrangement.
Oh, okay, so you absolutely need those before you can show a property?
Yes, we as a brokerage like to have you make sure you have all those four. You could probably make an argument that if you just had the buyer broker agreement, agency disclosure, and ABA, so really those three for sure. The answer to the question is the buyer broker agreement, the agency disclosure, and the ABA, those three.
What was?
Prior to showing homes, buyer advisory. It's not a bad idea to include that, but the question was, what's the minimum amount? Those are the three minimum amounts.
Cause all of those forms freak people out.
It's just the amount of pages, like, I have, while I'm working with them, I finally got them to sign these forms, but it was like,
Mhm.
you know, they're a husband and wife, but it was like going through those forms was brutal for me to get them to read them. You
Yeah,
know, and I had sent them the advisory way ahead of time. And I'm like, please read this, there's young buyers, and I'm like, then they finally got around to like reading those forms. And it was just like they were hesitant to sign them all because it's like a mile long forms.
right.
I feel like I mean, personally, I wish, and I have other people that know me, they know I'm an agent, so it's like, oh, they might be interested in just going to look at a house.
Mhm.
But if I have to flood them with like 20 pages, it's kind of like, it's
Right,
holding me back. Because,
right.
I started years ago and, it was like, I could just meet someone and, just go look at a property.
Yep, can't do that anymore.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
another
so
question I have, because I went to that big event that we had downtown.
let me pause you for a
Okay.
second. So to the newer people in the group, what he's referring to is fairly recently, I think it was October of 24, so just a year and a half ago, buyer broker agreements were not required. In fact, a lot of agents use them, but more than 50% of the agents did not. And the reason they did not is they would say, well, my gosh, it's a good idea. Probably should use them, but buyers don't want to sign them. And if I make them sign it, they're going to say, well, I'm not working with you because these agents over here not going to make me sign it. So I'm going to work with them. Now, everybody's in the same boat. They're required prior to showing homes. Required prior to showing homes. A lot of things have changed over the last year and a half. Compensation was removed. Buyer's side compensation was removed from MLS. That's another thing that the newer agents don't know. The buyer's agent knew how much they were getting paid because it was in MLS, and that's been removed as well. Did you have another question? I think we might have a couple
I,
questions here, but go ahead.
I did because when I went to the event, I remember one of the people, I think it was the broker from the managing broker on Scottsdale. She was talking, I don't know, forget her name, but she was
Peggy?
talking about, yeah, Peggy. She was like, "Oh, you
Well,
should go."
Scottsdale is Brian Juris, but North Scottsdale. We have two in Scottsdale, but
North,
go
yeah.
ahead. What is your question?
The question is she was like, "Oh, you should definitely do your research and go look in as many homes as possible." But
Hmm.
if I just want to go look in a home myself with no client, is
Hmm.
that okay? Can I just like present
Absolutely,
any
you
home?
can, of
Because it
course.
feels
Yeah,
kind
you're
of weird.
previewing. You're previewing it for potential clients. You're previewing
Right.
it. Yep.
Because before I would never have thought twice, but since all these new forms have come out, it's just like, oh, I feel strange doing it because I would go into any home, 10 years ago, no problem. But now I felt weird because of all these requirements. But if it's good to go, like I feel better about that.
Yeah, the question for the folks on Zoom is, can you see a home without a client? And the answer is yes. You're simply previewing it, so you can. Okay. Anything else? Diane, Jenny, anybody else?
And
No.
that's really easy.
And let me remind you of another training opportunity because again, this one's called I've Got a Buyer Now What. We got done with our form series. That was about 7 or 8 weeks. Got done with the lead generation class. Realty One Group has an outstanding program called Rev Up, REVUP, Rev Up. And let me show you for whoever's still with us here, Diane and Jenny. Um, onecoaching.com, onecoaching.com. And we have several programs here based on, again, the agent's level of production. People who are making $1 million a year in this industry have a lot of problems, but they're a different type of problem than newer agents would have. So what I recommend is Rapid Launch, Rev Up. It's 5 weeks, 10 modules, because we like ones at Realty One Group. It's $111. Once you complete those modules, you get your money back. So it's free. It's free. The next session, as you see here in the top right, July 7th through August 6th is the next session. Prospecting and systems, establishing your brand, geographic farming, working your database, how to create an online presence, working with buyers and making offers, how to hold a successful open house. These are some of the modules. Listing presentations, and our repeat and referral class called Closing and Creating Clients for Life. So it's 10 different modules, 5 weeks. This is not by me. This is Realty One Group corporate, their coaching team at Realty One Group. $111 and you get your money back. So that's at onecoaching.com. Okay. You like that, Diane? Yep, it's a good deal, especially since it's free. You don't complete the 10 modules, you don't get your $111 back. $111 is $111, but still, it could be a hell of a lot more money than that. So, okay, we've gone about 45 minutes. We got another class coming up at 11 o'clock for Rock Title. Anything else? No? I don't think so. It might be out there. We'll check with them. Okay, guys, that's it for now. We'll see you for a brand new class next Thursday at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thanks, JP.
You're welcome.
I was gonna say to you that, that's really easy to go and freaking anything when you can just schedule for vacant homes.
Yeah, she just showed me that. I just didn't know that because I've actually honestly I've been dormant for a while, but suddenly like I have a bunch of stuff coming up. So I'm trying to just wake myself up a little bit. But I've been showing homes to one client like recently. So I'm like getting used to aligned. And then, you know, the last time I showed homes, it wasn't aligned. It was what was the Zillow owned one? Showing time, which I saw that open door, like I saw an open door listing, and they're still used to view that home. You have to use showing time, which I don't even want to use that app.
I don't know, cause my
Was weird.
clients just purchased an open door.
Are you good?
Yeah, I went to one and the access was through showing time.